Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to ImageChat number 7. I'm Philip Lunn.
Yes, hello, I'm Chris from Germany.
And today we're sitting down with Michael Jelinek. He's a creative force who's designed killer robots for Terminator Dark Fate, crafted cutting-edge tools at Wacom, and shaped the future of automotive design at Volkswagen and Autodesk. So from Hollywood concept art to yacht-inspired car interiors, from VR research to teaching the next generation of designers at Slovakia's Technical University, Michael's career reads like a masterclass in creative evolution. He's a designer, artist, researcher, and vision generator who spent over 2 decades pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you on,
So nice to have you.
Yeah, we saw some of your work, and we're curious to have you on, and we're glad you joined.
I'm so happy. Yeah, but first thing I'm supposed to do is do a little correction. You don't ever pronounce Wacom as Wacom.
Oh, okay.
And it should set up the tone for our conversation because Wacom is a Japanese expression where com stands for computer and wa is harmony.
Ah, so computers in harmony.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're all trying to do.
Okay, fair enough. And so we'll only refer to it as Wacom. I never knew. I've always called it Wacom. So I guess I'm ignorant.
In Germany,
anyway,
no worries about it. You're not the only one.
But we learned something. No, that's good.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah. So Michael, you've worked everywhere from Skoda to Terminator movies, right? What's been the most unexpected turn in your creative journey? Maybe you could give us a little history of where you've come from and what's influenced you.
I really have to admit that the kind of the pivoting point in my whole career was really working for Tim Miller on Terminator Dark Fate, because that was for the first time when the ideation, the exploration phase of a design project became an absolutely legitimate part of the design process. And for me, it was also kind of a starting point to think about getting back to school and learning and studying more about what are the mental processes behind the ideation, because you suddenly understand that the process when the idea is being born is part of the design, but no one really talks about it. It's all as being hidden. But with Tim and working on, let's say, big blockbuster movies such as Terminator, it was for the first time really experiencing it that you spent half the year just exploring the theme.
Mm.
And then, of course, you have to learn that not all the babies you make during that period will survive. That's kind of harsh, but that's part of the creative process. You have to make those decisions. And sometimes you got to be really brave to abandon the ideas, to move to another one. So for me, working for the movie industry and specifically with Tim Miller, that was really the peak of what I've experienced in my career.
Very cool.
But that's so cool that you worked on this stuff. I mean, this is outstanding. I mean, everybody in the world knows it, so it's really cool.
You have no idea how happy I am.
And this creative part of it, we learned also in school, you do something, you love it, you do it, you love it, but then you have to destroy and start again. This is a typical design feature, which we also see today in our work with the Image Lab. You do it, you love it, do it again, so that's very interesting. If you learn this once a time in your life, you have it.
Absolutely, yeah. This is kind of a sad thing, and I've just during my research for the doctorate, I found out that almost 80% of the content you create as a creative person, as a designer, architect, or an artist, is never shown to a client, to a customer, or the manager, because these are your notes about how you process this whole idea, how you develop the idea, but you never showed them. And for the bean counters that are calculating the price of the design, it is really important number. 80% of the time you spend on something that is never shown to a client. That is a significant number. So I think it really makes sense to start talking about these things, and I'm so happy that the technology helps it too.
Yeah, I think now you can much faster visualize your ideas, and this is communication, and that's what we all need. We need to be faster and easier coming to this nice visual stuff, and you can just put it over. Because if you have an idea in your brain, good, but to show it and visualize it is much better.
Absolutely, and there's even one more important component of it, it's not about visualize it per se. It's all about sharing the idea with the third party, with the others. Because sometimes you really want to focus on the idea and you want to test it in the right context. But in, let's say, generic enough point of view, not really being somehow poisoned or colored by your style, by your way of drawing or sketching, because that plays a role as well. So even having a quick sketch that could be interpreted in a number of the ways, you can talk to the others and try and evaluate the idea you have. So in this point of view, tools such as yours, or even good quality renders, that they really help a lot.
Yeah, very cool. So another question. How's your approach to the concept design evolved over the last 25 years?
Okay. Let me think about it. This is that's a tough one. Of course, it has changed. I've learned to maybe listen to myself, not throw away all of the ideas, because I do have a big pile of sketches that I do on invoices, on the newspapers, on the magazines, and on everything. And some of them are 15, 20 years old. And at that time when I made them, I felt like they exist only for that moment, but there is something in them. So every idea you do, maybe it doesn't have the time yet. It's not ready for being shared or being communicated yet, but it's there. So keep those ideas, because it really makes sense that you will look at them again after some time, and you find out you will discover their value. This is one of the important things, because I really suffer with the imposter syndrome. Whenever I start anything that I work on, I feel like I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then 15 years after, or sometimes half a year, sometimes a week after, I look at the work I did that day when I was depressed and tired of myself not being capable of doing what I want. I thought, damn, it's not that bad.
But this is
Right.
typical designer. Yeah. So you feel yourself not so good, but others see you in different ways. And it's hard if you're doing our stuff. So after a while, you think, oh, I'm not so good. I have to do something else. Yeah, if you keep on working, keep on pushing, you're getting better over the time. And now the latest technique helps us to get more faster, creative. I think for me, definitely, because I don't have to ask somebody to do something. I just do it myself.
Yeah.
That's correct. That's true. And it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most important thing. When it's
Yeah,
fun.
this is also the part. No one talks about the ideation part, and no one talks about the fact that we are doing it because we love it.
That's right.
And that's such an important component of basically, the foundation of happiness, if we can put it in that perspective.
Yeah.
But we don't want to suffer in what we are doing.
No.
Especially when we love it.
I don't know. Some people feel they should suffer for the art, but
I do that.
I've never been
like that.
I've never been one of those guys.
When I come to big companies and I go in the design centers and so some people, the people are so stressed and so much to work, so many projects and so. But at the end, they do the best and wonderful job of the world. They're creating really nice design stuff. This is really a fun job. And we always should remind us, going back to this. Hey, it's fun what we're doing. We're doing really nice stuff. To be enjoyed by this later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you one time, I was at Porsche one time, there was a guy coming sketching a car, and 4 years later the car is driving on the road.
Mm.
And if you have this feeling, you saw the first sketch and later on you are in the car, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's a really good
feeling. That's true.
So Michael, you've worked with VR, you've worked with Unreal Engine, you've used Gravity Sketch, and now AI. Which emerging technology excites you the most, do you think?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one too. It's basically all of them. They came to me in the right time, but I can say the same thing about using Copic markers and the chalk and the baby powder. I'm old enough to remember. Maybe you have seen designers spreading up the chalk when you scrape the chalk and using the baby powder to kind of simulate the airbrush. On top of using the value. That was a technique in 90s. And when I discovered it is a technology in a way.
Yeah,
I was
right.
so happy because it changed the way I could express, I could do my sketches, even the design presentation or design renderings on paper in 2D. And I feel like this is so cool. I mean, it is changing really the way I can express myself. And
Mm,
then came Alias with the Studio Paint on the SGI on Silicon Graphics machines, and
mm.
I found myself that I could do that digitally.
Yeah,
And
right.
there's an undo that basically allows me to make mistakes. This is another kind of funny point because a lot of people thinks about undo, using undo, that that's wrong. Whenever I have to use undo, that means I did something wrong. I made a mistake. No, it's completely, this approach is so wrong on so many levels, because undo is there to allow you make mistakes, to
Yeah, right.
experiment more. It's a free experiment, so it's your sandbox you can play. And
Yeah.
with the undo, you find yourself that you suddenly release a little bit more of your creative energy. You expand your creative playground. Studio Paint. It was 1993 when they came with Studio Paint on the market, and I played with it in 1996, 1997, something like that, and I was completely hooked up. Since then, I used to call myself digitally positive because every technology that showed up, I was really eager to try
Mm,
out.
mm,
Oh,
There was
okay.
a Studio Paint. Then I saw a guy named Christopher Dupont, who used to be a Alias demo guy, and then later on Renault chief designer, doing
mm,
incredible cars, fantastic artist and designer. And I saw his demo when he went uh, seamlessly from 2D sketching in Studio Paint into Alias, and he
mm,
modeled. It was
mm.
I think it was a hair dryer, and I was
All
like,
right.
damn, I want to do that. And
Ah,
it
very
is like
cool.
that technology, and it's
Yeah.
all as that moment. It's not just a novelty. It's the opportunity to push your creativity to next level.
Hmm.
So when these things about 10 years ago
Oh,
became
yeah.
available,
I,
basically they
I
go
got
like,
one right here.
yeah, actually I got a couple here.
Yeah, I've got them all.
Yeah, nerds, geeks.
Yeah, yeah. There's a new
So
one out yesterday, actually. I don't know if you've
I
seen
know
that one. Yes, there's a
I'm
new
gonna,
one. Yeah.
of course I'm gonna try it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I wanna test it.
The Valve does such an amazing job with the
Hmm.
technology, and what they've done with this one looks.
There was some. So when they introduced that, I think it was a year after Gravity Sketch made their tool. They announced it, and I
Mm,
and I was testing it, and I found myself, damn, this is exactly what I was looking for, because
yeah,
there was something that I loved on sketching in Studio Paint digitally using
yeah.
Wacom tablets or later the screen.
Mm,
Uh, it was the gesture.
mm,
But when you work with a mouse and you model, you lose that gesture. You
yeah,
lose
right.
that physicality of expressing yourself. You're in 3D, so it definitely adds the value, but you lose that emotional aspect of using your body.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
throughout my research doing the doctorate, I've learned a lot from cognitive psychologists and neuroscientists that
Mm,
these components are so connected. You
mm,
really need the gesture. Basically, the sketching is just a gesture performed on a small scale on a paper, on a medium, but it's a
mm,
gesture.
mm.
So when I got this,
Yeah,
I knew that's the technology I was waiting for, because it's 3D, but I
yeah,
got that gesture.
yeah. Right.
And I can
Yeah,
use this whole room. I'm not limited by the size of a paper, by the wrist, elbow, or shoulder. I can
yeah,
walk here. I can
yeah, yeah,
basically sculpt the shoulder line of the car just by walking through this little studio.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
really
VR
fantastic.
was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah, and it's still evolving. I was at I was at SIGGRAPH. I got to see I think it's 16,000. It's 90 pixels, 90 dots per pixel. Some very high density screen. It was
Hmm.
it was as dense as the human vision, and they had an Unreal scene in VR that it just blew my mind. It was so real, and the brightness and the light. So there's still a lot coming. It's still in research, but there's still a lot coming in that area. So I think it's this whole the VR medium to create in is still going to be very, very relevant in the future.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. Just one second. In 3D, it's also very good to make the 3D curves, because the curve is in the car is not just a flat curve; it's also banded in different areas. And this is good if you have
Yes.
oh, and then you have the 3D, but it's also difficult to do, to define That a curve looks from
That is true.
every way.
However, we may have some of my students here in this session listening to us, and I'm trying to push them that everything that looks like a 3D curve, there's always a plane, a virtual plane that curve sits. But once
Ah,
the curve somehow waves, it may become fragile, broken, uncontrolled. But if you find a good kind of a virtual plane, it could be angled. It's going to be a 3D curve, but from one point of view, it will look planar. And that's kind of a good starting point if you want to make really good curves in 3D.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah,
You need some planes, yeah.
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 Well, this is super cool. When you talk about building a 3D model, because that's actually one thing we just added into ImageLab this last week was the ability to load a 3D model in a Blender file or a GLB or a FBX or OBJ or I think SDL as well. So you can just drag and drop your 3D file and take some screenshots and start to use AI to now enhance those very quick screenshots. So that's a exciting element to combine, and when you're using 3D, like a VR for modeling, it's a super exciting potential.
You can turn and have a different viewports. That's really cool. Yeah.
I was briefly testing it, so yeah, it's really cool. And one thing that really blows me away that Blender, it's kind of a tool that was for hobbyists and really outside of the mainstream and the content creation market.
Yeah.
Suddenly becomes one of the top tools, and its file format for being robust and stable and reliable. This is incredible how we rely on that system these days. My students are using Blender almost as a primary tool, using both 2D and 3D aspects of it. So this is definitely cool.
Yeah. Well, we'd love to see some of your work, Mike. Why don't you share a little bit about what you've been
Oh
up
yeah.
to?
This is okay. Let's have the funny conversation because I started my career 25, 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm that old.
Yeah.
So you made me actually to play with the sketches that I was doing 30 years ago. So this is one of those sketches. Let me just I need to share my screen, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that screen, and it's gonna be entire screen. That's gonna be this screen. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
I see it. Yeah.
Okay, so now we have it. So I have this sketch, and you will see that I'm not lying. Mike D. I used to have this nickname at that time. Then I've discovered that Mike D is actually a drummer from Beastie Boys, so I've stopped using it. But that was my nickname in 90s. So 98, this is my sketch from 90s. And I felt like, damn, that time I felt it's cool, but somehow it got old and I forgot it. So I was digging in my archive and I asked the ImageLab to make a rendering. Okay, it polished the sketch. So it's pretty interesting. But then it did this. And I felt like, okay.
Fantastic.
Okay, the wheel's a little bit off. There's no driver missing. But then the design itself, it follows my design intentions. Design intentions, they're almost 30 years old. But the design theme, the design motif, the way whatever you wanna name it, it's there. It kind of kept my idea. It didn't wash it out. And this is one of the things that I was that I keep criticizing on general use of the AI, that inevitably, by the matter of how the models are trained, we are dealing with something that is being curated and somehow averaged from both sides to always give an acceptable and tangible output. And in many cases, especially when your design is, I'm going to say, too creative or too unusual, it fails to interpret it right. So I'm quite surprised, and I'm really adoring what you guys did, because I've been for last 5 years, excuse me, for last 5 years, I've been testing a number of the AI systems, including training my own models and so on, but I was never satisfied. But here, in most of those cases, I'm going to say 9 of 10, maybe even more, I'm going to get the result that respects my design. Sometimes the system freaks out, but that's really valuable. So this almost 30 years old sketch ended up this way. And I felt like, damn, it could be still valid. That design idea is not dead yet. And then that takes me back again. The moment I did it, I probably felt terrible that it's wrong. It's got the perspective sucks. Sorry for my language. Everything is wrong with that. But then that was the idea, and the idea seems to survive all these years. So that made me motivated. So this is one of my very first alias models. So little delivery car I did as a personal project, something like a
Mike,
basic transport.
Mike, can you press full screen that we see it bigger?
Oh,
Just underneath this button, full screen. Higher. Go in the middle of the here, left.
oh, here. Okay, this one.
And you can use also your arrow keys on the keyboard to go through the images, which is much easier for you.
I love these moments whenever I feel like I'm highly IT skilled. There's always someone to tell me what to do.
Just want to make it larger.
No, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I know. That's a better way to do it. So this model is also probably 25 years old, maybe more. And it was my attempt to do a 3D model of something we called that time a basic transportation, flat panels, simple to maintain design of an object, something like the Volkswagen, what is supposed to be, really people for everyone, like a Renault 5 or Citroen CV those days. So again, an old design, and just putting it in the context, it suddenly gives it, it is tangible, it is believable. And I know that I can take this old idea, ancient idea, and maybe think about it again, rethinking.
Cool, very nice. It looks very.
Yeah, there's another one, really like a design practice or maybe modeling practice. But
Okay.
this is so much fun. But let's talk about something that is a little bit more recent. So I've been playing as part of my education of design, teacher. How do we call it? Oh, that way. Full screen.
Yeah, perfect. Good.
Okay, so I did this car. This car is completely designed and sculpted in Gravity Sketch. It was done over the period of 2 weeks, every other day, an hour or two. So not really heavy time spent on design features or on quality of the surfaces. I still call it a sketch, but it has the advantage of being completely 3D, and some of the design and surfacing problems are already resolved. I know that I can push it further to technical surfacing department, and I can most importantly, I can start to communicate it. So this, what you're looking at, it's not the AI, that's just a direct render from Blender, and this is what AI did it.
Yeah, that's
so.
Cool.
And then I did another one. Different couple. That was a little bit too much rain. Did you see the splash?
Yeah.
Let me play it again.
Splash.
I said add more rain.
Yeah, but I can remember we had design presentations outside and it was raining like hell. We stand around
another couple of
models. Yeah, it's interesting.
Also, I want to say, okay, make it. Is it doing anything? No. Oh, that again. That's the render from Blender, and here's another animation that ImageLab did. And I love that. It's the idea behind that was to present the car in 4 seasons. So the first one was like spring. That's spring. Then we have the upcoming winter, the snowboard guys, and suddenly everything is covered by snow.
Cool.
Covered with snow. Yeah, and there was another view to the side view, again, a rendering from Blender using Psychos engine. And here I wanted to show how the car would look in autumn, low light, warm light, golden hour, floating leaves. And I think there's one more. Oh yeah, this one's supposed to be summer. But what is really making me excited here is the fact that I spent a couple of days on designing the car, and basically 2 hours in Blender just using the free-to-use libraries. It's a blend kit, if you know it. Just dropping in the architecture, textures, and some lighting. So in 2 hours, I had 5 of those different angles, different perspectives of my car, and then I spit it into the image lab just to get those animations, those movies. They present the car from all different angles, moving and in different scenarios. Because this is really important in designer's life. It's not just the product itself. It is also how it behaves in context. For me, for a long time, I'm gonna give you an example. Being in a Central Europe, heavily influenced by the German manufacturing, working for Skoda for 7 years, you got that German attitude to car design and car manufacturing, basically under the skin. And then you see French cars. They're interesting, but you don't feel like this is it. But then you come to France. I spent 2 months in Caylus. It's a Pyrenees du Midi, the region in Pyrenees, and that of course they're only French cars, and suddenly they make sense. They made sense because they belong in that context, in a society, in a community, in the landscape, and they suddenly made sense. So this car that is kind of a heritage to what Alfa Romeo is doing, it should be presented by Lake Como. Of course it should. It should be shown in Italian environment. Otherwise you fail as a designer because you don't understand the heritage of the object you are designing. In the early days, I would probably need maybe a month to do all the renderings, even using sophisticated tools like Unreal Engine and what is the Twinmotion. It's a fantastic tool, don't get me wrong, but here I have it in 2 minutes. And then what is really cool, I don't have to go through technical gimmicks and learning the UI and everything. I just say, add more rain. And it's there. So for me, it is cool. And it takes me back to my research and kind of a scientific point of view, what the design process is. And I've mentioned that I really love the gesture when I'm expressing myself. And we all do that. We all need it when we're creating something. So creativity is a physical act. But the funny thing is that the language component is part of it as well. It's all deeply connected. So I'm surprised and kind of positively surprised that it's the AI that reminds us it's not everything visual. It is also verbal. And it reminds us about how important it is to use the language properly, how to phrase the things, how to call the things the right names. And with the AI, it specifically makes us really coming back to school and relearning to talk. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's
Well, I love the snow here.
yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, I love it too, just to speak to it. So, and if one time you made this step, you talk to it, it's so much easier than typing. You just talk to it. Yeah, make it like this or like this. You go here, make this. And that's what I really like. You start to talk to the machine. So normal. Yeah, and then you are
Yeah,
really fast. Yeah.
it makes you feel like a movie director. Suddenly, I understand why so many people wants to direct the movies, because you can yell at the people and they will do the thing. Now you have an AI.
Yeah, that's oh nice. Yeah, that's good. You have
Yeah,
this
this is
nice.
basically, again, the render from Blender. Then I ask it, add more snow, add some snow, add the young family with 2 kids playing around, add black Labrador. There we go.
Nice, really cool.
That was another experiment. I wanted to know how this particular AI is capable of interpreting more or less an abstract forms. There was something like a kinetic sculpture for a roadster car. Again, I don't know, 2000-ish, whatever. Simple render from directly, maybe it's a screenshot from Alias. And it didn't fail, actually. It actually did something that is really inspiring me. And this is something, what I like on using AI is that sometimes it is weirdly interesting. I'm not talking about 6 fingers and all these kind of uncanny valley type of renderings and images. I'm talking about it makes something that is almost inhuman, or something that is beyond the set of your cognitive or mental map, something beyond experience, and you're learning from it. It is transforming you to another level because it makes you think about that you can make that decision, that creative decision too, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and it did, and then it failed. It removed the upper frame, and then it moved the steering wheel completely away. But it's again maybe about defining the right words to tell it what I'm planning with this concept.
Phil, we can't hear you, Phil. You're muted.
You can be free with telling it what you want and what you don't want to happen as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe there's one last example because we were scheduled for like half an hour, right?
No, we got an hour, no problem.
Okay. I don't have an hour.
Okay, no problem. We're happy to have you as long as you can stay. So if you
that's all good. That's all good.
Yeah.
So here's another. That's a just screenshot from Alias.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember about 2010. Alias came with a fantastic feature that you can paint and sketch directly in Alias. You can use basically the 3D space, set up the virtual plane, and use it as a canvas. And those canvases, they could become projection textures. You could basically project labels like this Canon brand and Rotex here, and even some kind of color features to fake shading. So I did this little kind of almost polygonal looking of a side-by-side off-road vehicle from Canon. I used to be freak of off-road driving.
Oh, nice.
And I said, okay, this is again like 15 years old sketch. So I said, okay, put it into the off-road environment. It didn't do it. This one is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes it, and then I'll ask it to animate it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Actually, I prefer the other one. Yeah, the pilot, the driver is actually not really sitting inside as it should be, not in the right position. But still, I mean, the way it moves over those obstacles, this is fantastic. That little jump here, it is so realistic.
I mean, imagine trying to actually animate that by hand or with applying physics to the 3D model. It would be very challenging, I imagine. Yeah. Very cool.
Very nice, yeah. Yeah, it's so good to see your stuff, Mike. Thank you very much. It's really cool stuff.
Thank you.
And what I liked a lot of this, the old sketches to bring it to life again. It's a really cool idea. That's really interesting. I will try something like this too.
Yeah. Okay. we should do somehow an exhibition or presentation out of these things.
Yeah.
History seen through the eyes of AI.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Take some of your old work and bring it alive in new technology. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do this with our friends online, so we can say, okay, take your old sketch.
On the other side, it could be a double-edged sword, because a lot of not design managers, but usually marketing managers, C-level managers at companies, they see those shortcuts. Okay, take this car from 17th and make it modern. We don't want that.
Yeah, but it's you can say this and you get a modern image, but then you have still to do it, So but it's a shortcut. It's very fast. That's what I meant with fast visualization, fast communication, and this is, I think, for us, for the whole industry, very important. Oh, really cool images, yeah.
Yeah, that one didn't work quite well.
Yeah,
it happens. Yeah, it happens. Okay. Yeah. Oh.
There we go.
Oh,
she's not. Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good way.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna show this example as well because that's pretty cool. Because what it did. Okay, so that's the original. It's just a screenshot from Blender. And I asked it to subtle texture on the dashboard to give it more visual interest, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work. Stitches didn't work because it did too many of them. But then I asked it to put them only on the seat. And to my surprise, it understood, even in that abstract type of a design proposal, very kind of fluid and organic, it understood where the seats are.
Yeah.
And it put them on the headrests and so on.
Yeah. Huh.
That was quite cool, but then it failed to place the steering wheel where it should.
I see.
But then again, it kind of understands, and I'm gonna do full screen again. It understands where the edges are, where the different materials meet. That one is wrong, but that would be an easy task to modify with the in painting or just in Photoshop, just to paint over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Changing materials, make it carbon fiber.
Yeah, right.
That was fun. She's pretty, but she's sitting in the wrong place.
Yeah, but this is most of the time. If this, you have to make a more specific prompt sometimes to sit on the right place. That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. The dirt. I like the dirt.
And me too. It's a little detail. Here it looks really artificial, but when you add a little bit of the kind of the racing injuries, it looks kind of more believable. That's the original screenshot, 2006. Damn.
Huh. Interesting.
And again, very simple model in Alias using the sketch projection to sculpt some of the things, of the features.
I see. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've been playing with it. Maybe too much.
No,
that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
No,
this one is my favorite. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's the original image.
Yeah.
And these are really quick, direct screenshots from Gravity Sketch. Like a post-apocalyptic six-wheeler.
Cool. On Route 66, apocalypse style.
Yeah. And this is cool. That's a screenshot from Gravity Sketch.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
That's the Terminator.
Right.
That's the dropship, the Dragonfly. And I wanted to put it in a different environment. It was never in this scene in such a scenario in the movie, but I wanted to see it in the middle of the kind of a cyberpunk city.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the original image.
I see. Interesting.
Nice.
Cool.
That's some more concept.
Wow.
You like
super.
the rain.
It's so nice to see that you have fun, Mike.
Oh, nice.
That's
really... that one is like, I'm a big Tarantino fan, so I feel like, this is, it has to be done.
A scene out of Shaft or something,
Exactly.
Yeah, but Tarantino is good. If you make movies with the cars, you can say, make it in Tarantino style. It helps
70s. Yeah, that's right. You can actually, that's a great thing to do in the prompt, is make it in the style of something, and it'll completely transform the image, and sometimes transform the model if you wanted to transform the shape as well. So you can put it in the style of all kinds of things, and bring in various style elements for the shot as a whole, just by talking to it. Yeah.
Cool. Very nice.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike. We really appreciate your time today. It's been really great having you on. We'd love to have you on again at some point. And thanks for sharing your story, your journey, and where you've been. It's super exciting to have as sophisticated folks like you on this, who's done so much in this world of 3D and rendering and what have you, and to be so experienced. So we really appreciate your time, and we look forward to having you on again.
I'll be so happy because I'm having fun. So
this would be great.
Keep doing that. Let's nerd out a little bit more often.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Good.
All right,
thank you, guys.
Mike, yeah.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.